Stukov seems to be the last of the Browder characters. I don't know if you all remember this image released around Valera's time, but down here by Zagara, there were these eggs that we all thought were going to be infested Terrans and related to Stukov. The actual thing was sort of a Where's Waldo, Where's Valera image, but Stukov has been hinted at for a long time. And it was during Browder's time that we really started to hear about the character. So much like Malthael, I feel like yet again, another character that was supposed to come out a long time ago, for some reason sat on the back burner for a while. And when you start to just even touch his kit, you start to realize that he's really well made. He's got some fantastic animations. First of all, I mean, just to begin with this mount animation, which is just fantastic. Grabs his arm and launches himself into the air, getting himself up on that horse as it summons beneath him. In fact, even something as simple as just walking around, here he is just sort of trolling, you know, being kind of human. But once you get him hitting stuff, he goes into this more aggressive stance, which is really cool. And look at these attacks. Boom. 272 a hit. Now, you are attacking slower than something like a Skeleton King even. We had 0.67 attacks per second. But that attack damage, just unreal. Great range on it, too. Granted, he doesn't seem to have, at first glance, or in his talents, really, any sort of movement ability that you're going to move yourself in fast like a Rhaegar, even his butt bite dive, giving him that mobility. And it does actually complete the damage at the end of his swing. So stutter stepping through this doesn't really increase the speed at which you actually execute and move on. So to get those big hits in at level 1, he's going to be pretty exposed. Let's go over his main stuff here. Now, it is important to note that there is a talent at level 4, which is currently broken and active at all times on Stukov. So, as a support, since his main goal is going to be to heal and perhaps beat people with heavy damage, we can't really picture what his impact is going to be in the meta once he releases, because right now, Bio Kill Switch healing is increased by 50%. That is to say that his trait, Bio Kill Switch on a 16-second cooldown, activate to detonate all of Stukov's viruses. Each healing pathogen heals its target for 520. Right now it's doing about 780. And each weighted pustule does damage and slows the target for 70% for 2 seconds. These relate to his other 2 abilities. This would be the weighted pustule, Pustule, that impacts all enemy heroes in its path, dealing small amounts of damage, and slowing by 5%, increasing to 50% over 3 seconds. Deals additional damage upon expiring or being removed. And actually, is that bonus damage? Removed. Kind of like a dispel effect, maybe. Either way, this one is a skill shot. And it does pierce, but it is heroes only, actually. If I launch this with any sort of cooldown reduction through these guys, no effect. But it is a great looking thing, isn't it? Oh, and then after it goes, it just burrows into the ground. Pretty good sound effect, too, to let you know that that's going to be completing. I'm curious. I want to try out right now if this does, so 21. Hits the target, 21. And then on completion. So there's no actual dot effect. So let's see what 83 slows it by 70 for 2 seconds. Let's see if we still get the 83. It seemed to be stacked in there, didn't it? Like 2 numbers right on top of each other. 83 and then the 100. 4. Yep. So you get both. That's pretty fantastic. Healing Pathogen would be the other one here, 30 mana. In fact, from reports of people playing already coming out, he has no real mana issues. Even with this 60, that's going to be probably your least cast spell. 50 on a skill shot, too. That could run expensive. 30 here, but all the cooldowns, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 8 seconds, 16 being free. They're a little long, so we don't need to worry about spamming and running out of mana at the moment. Anyway, cooldown 10 seconds. Infest an allied hero with a healing pathogen. This does auto-cast, or you can self-cast it. The target for 250 healing over 4.5 seconds. That's pretty darn good to last half the cooldown. Healing pathogens can spread to allied heroes every 0.75 seconds. A single healing pathogen can spread to each allied hero one time. We'll have to see how that comes into play. But the range on it, as I found out by clicking around here, is actually a little shorter than the cast range. So at this range, I can throw it out to my ally here. But I have to get in a little bit closer to actually receive the bounce back on myself. And it's actually doing the bounce in intervals. So in intervals over 4.5 seconds of 0.75. So if I were to spread this to myself and sort of miss the next tick, I have to wait till the next sort of almost fourth mark to get that spread. So first tick just went off, get in range of him, and kind of walk out of it, then it spreads around. So it's got some death ball ability, but also means that you'd have to get everyone grouped up, and it won't spread out the range we may want it to. I can see this going missed, and people are going to figure out over time how close they actually have to get to their allies to get some of that sweet heal. But it does do it, what, 4 times over the course of the ability? Spreading once each time, I'm sure we can talent that up in other ways to make it easier. Let's take a look at Lurking Arm. 60 mana, 8-second cooldown, so probably our biggest mana sink, probably our biggest opportunity to really ruin the mana pool in lane. Channel at a target location, creating an area that silences enemies inside it and deals 150 damage per second to them, dealing 50% reduced damage to non-heroes. Does not cost mana while channeling, and lasts until cancelled or interrupted. Big range on that guy. So you coolly deliver your arm... I gotta see this thing. You coolly deliver your arm into the ground, and it pops up and blobs about in intervals. So this here says that deals 150 a second, so it is dividing that up into mini hits, which is good for burning certain kinds of spell shield, bad against other kinds of spell shield, but it is interesting that they decided to divide the damage rather than having it actually hit that heavily every 1 second. So if I wanted to silence so they can't vault out of it, some serious zone control, I would assume that they're going to run. And so I would probably want to hook them up with a sweet, this would be a 3-second increasing over 50. So I'd hit them with that, and then follow up with this with the slow duration. Does not last until interrupted. Oh, can I activate Bio Kill Switch while doing this? Yes, I can. Keeping them inside my silenced area. Well, you're channeling, and if you missed out on the Nazebo Ravenous Spirit days, people will come from across the land to destroy somebody who's standing still channeling a spell. It's a lot of fun. Most characters don't have a small teleport like Li Ming either, and don't get out of whatever bomb is coming for them during that time. So, always in mind, we have to think, it's a bummer. It's a bummer. It's messing with our toy here and our perspective of what release is going to be, but we have to remember that our Bio Kill Switch healing is increased by 50% while we make our way through the character here. But let's start it out. Spine Launcher. Basic attacks become ranged and slow enemies by 20% for 1 second, but deal 50% less damage. Well, that explains a bit about the pure size of this smack. I like it, though. Give some burst. It's real messy. But let's see what it feels like. Oh, that's a decent little range. Gosh, we're really stacking in the slows, aren't we? All these early game slows on auto attacks with Tassadar and such are really scary. Particularly if Executioner talents start to make their way earlier into the game, or certain characters maybe have built-in Executioners. That'd be equally as frightening. Easy though, right? I mean, where are you going to be balling up? Are you a heavy melee team, in which case you want to put a healing pathogen on yourself and not take this talent? Or are you sort of a mid-range team where the tank's out in front, but you'll be able to sort of stay in the middle of everything with Zarya and Tychus by you? Or are you a long-range team, in which case Stukov might not be the best healer for you, but we'll see what he can do. Seems like you'd want people pretty balled up to make sure these heals get spread around. This thing, though, impacts all enemy heroes in its path. So this thing actually does spread. So we don't need to worry about this thing spreading. So Stukov doesn't have any sort of, like, Kael'thas drafting priorities of, oh no, they've taken too many melee, let's punish them with Stukov. Seems to be the other way around. Let's support our balled up allies with Stukov. Fetid Touch. Hit heroes with Weighted Pustule. After hitting 20 heroes, reduce the cooldown of Weighted Pustule by 2.5. Oh, it's 10. Right, yeah. So we haven't gotten a very good perspective for that. That's a long time. After hitting 40 heroes, reduce the cooldown of Weighted Pustule by an additional 2. Wow, down to 5. And remove its mana cost. Wow, 50, 30. Well, that sounds pretty good. Alright, so I fire a normal pustule. Whoop. I fire a normal pustule. Cool. Getting stacks. It makes noise, and then I have to wait a very, very long time before I can do this again. It's such little damage. What's the explosion on it? That's still... If I wanted to burst somebody down. Not exactly the character I'd do it. So, you know, we did it. Hooray! Now it's free. And on a much shorter cooldown.
Just like Doka.
Just like what? Toka? Dota? Anyway. I could see it, you know, you have a Lily on your team and maybe a Tassadar, and, you know, things went a little wrong in quick match, so you gotta do damage, you know, carry. Stukov, it'll happen. Growing Infestation, Lurking Arms area expands by 50% over the 2.5 seconds, or over 2.5 seconds, since it's infinite. That's pretty neat sounding. Let's see if we can get it to the size of a blizzard. You know, that's actually bigger than a blizzard. That's bigger than a zombie wall. And people are silenced if they walk inside that thing? Gosh, can you imagine? You're on Battlefield of Eternity, everyone's burning the Immortal, other team is res, they're coming running in through one of these gaps, and you just hook it up. Maybe you're hiding down in the corner, away from the actual objective, but right in their entrance area. I mean, no one wants to walk into silence and damage, and the damage doesn't seem horrible, but you're silent, so any damage is pretty horrible. That sounds pretty awesome. But this is a nasty sounding thing. Pop in pustules. Detonate 10 weighted pustules without dying. Weighted pustules? Are all pustules? Oh no, only, yeah, okay. Healing pathogens and then the weighted pustule. Okay, so this is offensive talent. Detonating weighted pustule now applies its damage and slow in an area. Okay. Only 10 without dying? So you gotta live 100 seconds. Ideally, when heroes are in range, and if you could do it every time it's on cooldown. That shouldn't take, well, more than 100 seconds, right? So you're probably looking at completing this by level 7, maybe, hopefully. I guess that's not the best, but gosh, if you're punishing people grouped up, and this applies to all of them anyway, you'd basically complete it in the exact situation you want to, just like an Alarak quest. You take Alarak because you want to get those stacks in the first place, because you know that their front line, midline, or wherever you're pulling people to is going to be stacked up anyway, Kael'thas included, with convection. So, easy enough. So these are all offensive, actually. Some mana, which you can say that reducing the mana, or giving a mana back, having more mana just means you have more heals. So we'll see what things look like at level 4. Again, going level by level, because I really want to get a feeling for what the damage of everything is. Well, for now, there's a lot of really cool stuff here. Let's imagine we're doing it nice and simple, and we'll do Spine Launcher, even though I really like big, bursty auto attacks. One good spread. After a healing pathogen infests 4 targets, restore 30 mana, and reduce the cooldown of healing pathogen by 2 seconds. 4 targets. 30 mana. Okay, so you get it full back. So that would include me and the Lost Vikings. So let's go ahead and get them out of here. All right, here they come. They need some minions, though. They're a little shy about it. One good spread. All right. Nothing toggled. Put it on me. It bounces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I need to pop them? Did I do it? Just the cool. Okay, so we'll have to kind of watch for the cooldown. So 9, 8, 6, 5. Okay, there it was. 2 seconds disappeared off the timer. That's pretty easy to pull off.
Choose a talent.
I think we could do that easily.
Choose a talent.
Top off. Healing, and you do get your mana back and then reduce cooldown, more healing based on your type of team. That's pretty nice. Let's see if these can all be type of team connections. Top off. Healing Pathogen heals over time on its initial target. Oh, the heal over time is increased on its initial target by 50% while they are above 60% health. Okay. Okay, so you've got like a team that's getting poked a lot. They're a big, healthy team, but, you know, they just keep getting a bunch of little pokes. Wouldn't low cooldown heals be better to clean up pokes anyway instead of this big, long heal? But I guess that would be the goal. Yeah, you're riding with, like, a bunch of tanks and just getting their health up. Heal over time on its initial target is increased. Only its initial. So you want to spread it off the tank who's getting poked. Interesting. Well, people are already saying that this has some Rhaegar-like numbers. Oh. And it's initial target, so that could be me. That could make things easier. Let's piss off this thing. Alright. We'll do a normal heal. 47, 47, 47, and whatnot. Let's do a top-off heal. Alright, 47, 47. Oh no, I'm going to be too low for that. I'll have to do it again. 47, 47, 47. We're almost there, right? One more. 47, 70, 70. Okay, 70. So yeah, for healing up tanks that are getting, you know, poked a lot. Or other situations where people have high... I don't know. The last one seems so good, but then again, you know, 3 lost Vikings standing right there made it super easy. Let's see what else there is.
Choose a talent.
Biotic Armor. Healing Pathogen grants 50 physical armor to its initial target while active on them. Oh my goodness. Huh. I like this initial target biz. Spreading around on that tank. 50 physical armor. Wow. That's a lot of armor. I like it. Let's see if it actually works here. This guy should be hitting me physically. There's my armor. All visible and whatnot. Cool. 50 armor. Wow. Initial target. Well, with long cooldowns, catching, kind of like Uther, catching something and reducing the incoming armor after that could be really good. Particularly if the heal is going underneath it and all that sort of fancy stuff. Let's see the broken one at the moment.
Choose a talent.
This is a quest. Detonate 50 healing pathogens with bio-kill switch and increase its healing, the bio-kill switches, by 50%. So we haven't even completed the quest here, but this here says that I would get a heal for 550 or 585? Yeah, 585. So, pop that. There's a 373 in there. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, that would have been my, yes, my timed heal.
The end is at hand.
Complete the quest. It would be doing exactly what it's doing right now. Let's advance.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Still nothing too crazy, but I know we have some channeled heroics
Choose a
coming up,
talent.
which could make things
Choose a talent.
interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and grab that talent just so our numbers remain correct throughout the rest of the build. The long pinch increased the range of weighted pustule by 100%. Now, wow, the range is already basically an ice bolt from Jaina. So you want to make it, yeah, why not? Surely there is something better a support could do. But that's pretty neat.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent. Choose
Within
a
my
talent.
reach, increase the range of lurking arm by 50%. Wow, really? Okay, there's 50%. Let's go ahead and line it up nicely
Forward.
for experiment's sake. And
Tactically sound.
it's pretty big. Ooh, mix that with a little growing infestation. That could be nice.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
It hungers.
Choose a
Each time
talent.
enemy heroes are hit by the lurking arm, reduce its cooldown by half a second, up to 6.5 seconds, and restore 5 mana. Oh, okay, so each time it hits, you get 5 mana, 0.5. They're just including that it does have that maximum reset. It's only an 8-second cooldown, though. I mean, of course, in try mode here, it's going to feel like we don't need anything that helps a cooldown reset, because here we can very freely just sit and destroy something. But I guess that could mean that underneath this, that thing is ticking away, and I would have a nice small cooldown when I get out.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Targeted excision? Detonating. Exactly, one weighted pustule, but any number of healing pathogens. Oh, cool. With bio kill switch reduces the cooldown of bio kill switch to 5 seconds. Wow, 5 from 16. Exactly one weighted pustule, huh? So don't take any weighted pustule talents, but then do...
So much potential.
That is strange. Down to 5. Huh.
Step lively.
Well, it certainly rewards your observational skills. Your power to really be on your business. Oh, if you don't detonate, you have to have the detonate. 16. Whew. That's a juggling act. This looks like one of those talents like lock and load on Tracer, where you're just like, we'll try that after I become a Stukov main, and the world, you know, supports that pick every single game.
Choose a talent.
We'll see about that later on.
Choose a talent.
Either way, kind of cute that you can pick nothing but bio kill switch talents. Flailing Swipe, 100 mana, 80-second cooldown. Swipe 3 times in front of Stukov over 1.75 seconds, dealing 74 damage to enemies hit, and knocking them away. Each swipe is larger than the previous.
If we must.
Look, just thinking from the video here, I'm thinking Brightwing. You wanted Brightwing, but you didn't want Brightwing. Maybe physical armor. You were thinking maybe, yeah, maybe that could be it. Maybe you need a little bit of physical armor, and Brightwing's more spell armor these days. We still want some area effect heals, though. We don't need a global, so let's get Brightwing so we can push them. Wow, what a great graphic. Off of a boss.
Out of my way.
Should be effective, right? Get people off bosses. Good on Sky Temple. Good on Cursed Hollow. Anywhere there's a boss. But this is a really interesting one. Because it does happen so fast. And it does have a direction.
Moving out. Let's clear some space.
It also seems to have a greater delay on the last swing. And of course,
Let's clear some
since it doesn't automatically go in front or around you in a circle, there is that possibility to just straight up miss it. As though you wanted to hit this guy, and then he sort of gets pushed out. So it's a really interesting talent, really cool control, but 80-second cooldown's pretty long. Actually, just for science, let's see what Brightwing's Emerald Dream cooldown is. It is 60 seconds, costing 10 less mana. Of course, it only has the 1 pulse at level 10, but it does hit really hard, too. Surprisingly hard. And this thing hits surprisingly little, but there's 3 hits in it, so I guess that would be a decent size hit in the end.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Massive Shove. 50 mana, 20-second cooldown, extends Stukov's arm. If it hits an enemy hero, they are rapidly shoved until they collide with terrain, taking about 300 damage. Stukov gains 50 armor while shoving an enemy. Well, another channeled ability, where you would obviously become a target. It's very gooey. Interesting. So if I just straight up miss... 20 seconds on that, really. 50 mana, so I will go boom over time. If I line it up through a hole. There we go. And it goes on. Let's go ahead and turn off this cooldown so we can kind of get a feel.
I wish to be done with this.
Interesting. Oh. Sounds like we really upset that. Okay, just need to walk it into shadows for a moment. So if you receive armor, I'm assuming that if you pushed anything for an insane amount of time, you would simply just, if you became interrupted, it would just be interrupted. You'd be in a channeled state.
Once more.
Let's go ahead and get an enemy out here so we can see the final bit of this where they collide for damage. Who does Stukov hate? Do we really even have a Stukov villain? I mean, obviously, like something Minsky, maybe? I don't, we'll do we'll do Zagara as though it's a friendly banter kind of fight. Another ability, too, that doesn't have to worry about minions in collisions. Should be interesting. Of course, right now, my build is pretty useless as it's all quests and stuff. But let's go ahead and see the damage on Zagara. So it's about 300 damage to her there. It's a big hit, level 10. Tough to say, but I really like the 20-second cooldown. There's no reason why. So what would you really do? You accidentally save an enemy, you know, like you do with a Rainer push, and they get pushed. They are completely alive. The damage doesn't kill them after it collides. Other horrible situation would be that you activate it, but only on a 20-second cooldown. You get immediately interrupted, so it does nothing, and the enemy goes nowhere. So other than accidentally saving a life, if this goes for any length of time, you're removing them from battle. And that's pretty darn powerful. Doing damage and getting armor in the background too. So if you're standing, and this is 50 armor, just straight up 50 armor. So you could even, let's see if we miss. Oh, only if I hit. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So I can't just sort of be like inside the Phoenix, inside the poop and go, no, wait. I don't want to take all that damage. I'm going to use my massive shove. But we could actually, you know, if things are going bad, shove someone away, unimportant maybe, get that tank out of here. He's got full health. And survive the damage. You could also just probably do the easier thing, which would be to panic cast Flailing Swipe. And if you use this on cooldown, you'll probably have as much of an impact as you would with Massive Shove. But again, we're thinking here in Hero League. I'm not thinking about the pro scene where these guys are going to be, you know, coordinating hits and just kicking butt with all that organizational skill. Let's move on. 213.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent. Choose
We'll do Massive Shove for now.
Choose a talent.
Now's the time where things start to get interesting and unique. Reactive Ballistospores. Good little reference to StarCraft campaigns. Wait, what's going on? All right. Hang on. There's no need for that. All right. When taking damage below 50% health, instantly spread a weighted pustule to all nearby enemy. They're not done. They're not done. She's kicking butt up there. Oh man, she's destroying. All right. We'll have to deactivate Zagara. You're too strong. She's too strong. All nearby heroes and reset the cooldown of Bioswitch. Again, resetting the cooldown. Has its own 10-second cooldown. Taking damage below 50%. Spread weighted pustule to all nearby enemy heroes. So we wouldn't see that here. But we could get a feeling for maybe if I got this on cooldown. Ooh, will that actually show my cooldown too? That'd be nice. I need to turn off my own cooldown. Alright. Hang on, I'm doing really decently. I didn't expect to be doing this well so far. There it is. Okay, it activated. I got my shorter bio kill switch cooldown. I'm gonna have another one actually kind of soon. But I am gonna get killed. But that was more resilient than I originally thought. Poor guy, just dead on the ground with his giant arm.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Low blow. Ooh, adding to this build. I like it. Lurking arm deals 150% more damage to enemies below 25% health. Huh. I wonder if that's kind of a theme for him. Just certain health amounts. Why would that be? Because he's been experimented on? Because he knows his own health so? I don't know. It's cool that he's a support either way. I didn't expect him to be a support, but it's certainly time for a new one. So Lurking Arm. So what's our build look like so far?
Choose
Probably
a
should do this
talent.
later on, but expands.
talent.
Here, anything you
Choose
want,
a
we'll go with
talent.
that since it's the broken one at the moment. Increase the range. This is the okay. Reduce the cooldown, get mana back. I guess we'll do
Choose
that
a
one.
talent. Choose a talent.
Low blow and then more damage. It's a really interesting build. Let's see what's going on here. Lurking Arm persists for 1.5 seconds after it's canceled. Now, does it still have the silence effect? And is it still increased by the size of which I pumped it to? Interestingly, it is. So if I cancel it, no, it actually grows. It grows, continues to grow. 1.5 seconds. Wow. Yeah. And doesn't cancel its own silencing or damage effect or any other talents. Ooh, neat. Still 60 mana, 8-second cooldown. Still pretty darn expensive. But that stack. Area expands. And then the ability to just kind of let it go. And then even right now, I'm using that cooldown reduction. So I'm getting a really fast one afterwards. Whoa, this is another one. Virulent reaction. Detonating weighted pustule on an enemy who is inside of a lurking arm roots them for 2 seconds. Detonating weighted pustule. Oh, wouldn't it be great to have both these? I don't want to detonate weighted pustules on enemies who are inside a lurker's arm, hurting them for 2 seconds. I mean, I could. We already sort of mentioned that this seems like the right combo that you'd be doing, and then popping it at the last second there. They're rooted. The damage isn't ridiculous, though. The sound is broken again. But it looks like it does actually stop at a certain point. Really interesting. I like this lingering spines, though. Really cool. Wow. I'm just impressed that this is the support philosophy, that we're going really offensive. And I really like that.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Darn. Well, it seems like this will be the one you'll be going for once you're trying to 1v1. Maybe a little too quick match. I really like this, but I think this reactive Ballistospore is able to activate your own reduced cooldown, reset the cooldown at Bio Switch by taking some damage. That's pretty darn cool. He's a pretty beefy guy. I think you could walk into melee and get that done on purpose pretty easily. There's some great healing talents, too, to spread around if you're in a heavy melee environment. But there's also this lurking arm business, which could help out. Though I think you might be misdrafting him. He's in the wrong part of the comp if you're doing that. So let's see what's going on at 16. Super Strain. Whenever an allied hero with healing pathogen is stunned, they are instantly healed for 468 health. Whenever an allied hero... Okay, let's make sure this works on me then. Super Strain.
Intriguing.
Yep, instantly healed. And a decent amount there. Not absurd. Certainly no old Uther, Guardian of Ancient Kings kind of armor status, but it could help. Oh, yeah. Ally with Pathogen, they all spread around. Up against a team with tons of stuns, a Nubarak who line stuns, ETC, Diablo even. That could do some work. It doesn't mess with anyone's perceptions. They just get healed and then have to be killed again, whereas the armor has that Hero League. Are we killing them? Who's the target? What's going on kind of factor. But still.
Choose a talent.
Pretty
Choose
neat.
a talent.
Universal Carrier. Healing Pathogen can continually spread through Stukov, but its healing is reduced by 60%. Continually spread through Stukov. As in me? Forever? Like I just walk by somebody and... No. I don't know. Oh? Okay. Wait a minute. Spread through Stukov. Oh. So if I walk away from somebody here, for instance, and I walk to this guy, I've got some time to get this guy, but then I have to cast it again. But now, oh, I see, okay. So this whole text about it only having one bounce in it, it's not that we've made the bounces infinite, we've just made the bounces capable of coming from me an infinite number of times and returning to Stukov. So these two guys will never bounce anything between them, but I will always be catching and passing out again. But the healing is reduced by 60%. Let's see if it is all the healing. And we'll have to take some damage for that. Curious, of course, to see what the healing pathogen bio kill switch heal, now sitting at 937 with its 50% bonus. So 1,000. That was a big heal. Healing is reduced. This is saying... Still looks like a really, really good heal, and maybe with the math this is unaffected? It's kind of hard to tell, but that was a really big heal. So it seems like bio kill switch's heal might be unaffected. Yeah, but my actual heal got really tiny. Okay. Cool. Cool. So we run this with a bio kill switch build so you get reduced cooldowns using that weighted pustule thing maybe. Or maybe doing something with ballisto spores here. That's going to get a little complicated. Pox Popula cute. Bio kill switch no longer removes healing pathogen and instantly refreshes its duration. Oh. Oh, I get that.
Choose a talent. Choose
so
a
yeah,
talent.
you just...
Choose a talent.
So I've got, you know, this on me. And it spreads around, and it's about to end. So I go pop, and I reset them all, giving more healing. Cool. So I need group longer sustain that may even be able to sort of pad out the time in between my bio kill switch. But I still need it to be bursty. It has to have, you know, I need to heal up in a certain amount of time, whereas Universal Carrier makes me more of a bright wing. And I can get everyone kind of topped up, but you still have to wait for my big heal every 16 seconds. So here we're going big heals every still 16, but then it lasts. So we got to heal about every 12 seconds? No, because it'd be doubled. So 9, so 7. So you'd have 7 seconds without healing there, and then all the tricks you can pull throughout. I like Universal Carrier just because it's easy. But let's see what eye infection is. Is that a blind? Are we adding more blinds to the game?
Choose a talent.
Increase the final damage of weighted pustule by 50%. Additionally, detonating weighted pustule with bio kill switch blinds the target for 3 seconds. Oh no. Increase the final damage of weighted pustule. Well, it's gonna pop no matter what. That doesn't bother me though. Weighted pustule bio kill switch target for 3-second blind. Oh, poor Zul'jin. Poor Zul'jin. Oh. Well, they could always miss. It is pretty thin. Granted, I'm going to be standing still, trying to dingo as hard as I can, but... Oh, a powerful blind, huh? And Lucio just straight up lost his, right? They just went into his talents, and yeah. Yeah, he had that, that sound wave. Gives a blind, and they got rid of it. Okay. Scary.
Choose a talent.
Let's go to 20 and see if there's any cool goodies.
Choose a talent.
Or just augments
Choose
to
a
things we
talent.
already have.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Let's start with the trait. Bio explosion switch. Bio kill switch now detonates lurking arm, applying a weighted pustule to enemy heroes inside and silencing them for 2 seconds. Wow. Cool interactions. Real busy character. And then when I detonate it, I do cancel the spell. Applies a weighted pustule to the enemy hero. Oh. Oh, okay. So it applies a weighted pustule, but I just detonated. So I can't necessarily... So I would, naturally, do all this stuff before I activate a channel. Now I'm locked in. I pop it, they suffer, but it guarantees me no way, without some sort of fancy play and talents, to do the burst damage on weighted pustule again, since I used that to create the arm explosion. Let's test this with our expanding
Choose a talent.
arm ranging,
Choose a talent.
non-canceling,
Choose a talent.
doesn't matter thing. To see if I throw this down and then cancel it, if I can still pop it. I can. Okay, neat. Neat interaction. Not sure. So this to me, just from observation here, says that I went a lurking arm build. Kind of like you might do a vanish build for Valeera. And you got all the way to 20 and you realize that the whole enemy team is just nothing but sight. So you end up taking reduced cooldown on Valeera for your vanish so you can do a bunch of stealth and keep going. Luckily you have that, you know, non-targetable, invisible phase before the unrevealable phase that allows you to keep kind of getting these attacks in before you're just sort of hit out of it automatically. So here, you went a lurking arm build, but the enemy team has continued to spec in a way that is never going to let you stand still and actually use your weighted arm. So you decide at level 20, with all those talents invested into it, that you're going to maximize your output there and give it a little detonation time and explosion. Sort of cap it off while still being able to stay mobile. Or just cap off a nice little lurking arm build. Seems a little overcomplicated.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
But let's check
Choose
what
a talent.
push comes to shove. Massive Shove travels 25% farther. I assume that's the actual arm part of it, not the actual push connected part of it. If Massive Shove pushes the target more than 1.5 seconds, the cooldown is reduced by 15 seconds. Well, if you push them that darn far, likely it is that you're actually probably pretty close to a cooldown anyway. So basically you'll have two of these. One where you push the guy successfully, and then another one immediately following it because you probably pushed him for that full 5 seconds or so. But the increase on the arm range does seem pretty nice. Do it from safety. Of course, he disappears as he's pushed too far. So we're not getting to really feel that full duration and get the reset on it. But I see it. I don't know why you'd need that, though, right? I mean, maybe you're a little too far back and your pushes aren't connecting, but getting all the way to level 20 and then suddenly figuring out that you're not good at hitting this thing, I don't think this is going to make it any better. And the cooldown's so short, this could, I mean, right, I could be wrong, right? This is just the best. It's a reset talent. It's amazing. Stukovs are owning everybody. Who knows? But for now, it just seems like it wouldn't have too big of an impact. Oops, around the house again.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Like we missed our channel.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Controlled Chaos. Flailing Swipe's mana cost is reduced by 100 to 50, and it gains 2 charges. But each use only swings 1 time at maximum range. Good name for it. So, normal swipey, where I do all these sort of hits. And now I have 2 stacks. 3 second cooldown between each. Level 20, 100 damage. Oh, well, the mercenaries don't much care for the target dummy there.
Reasonable request.
So why would you do this over your other version? Am I insane that I'm slightly disappointed by all these 20s compared to, like, really creative things like Ragnaros, or I guess maybe Rags aren't that creative, but Abathur's, Zul's with his, well, maybe he doesn't have Bone Spear anymore. We'll have to check out his rework. But it's controlled now, so that's good. The area is really big. Gosh, both of them are still having to sit. So they didn't reduce the cooldown either. Kind of like you might get with a Leaping Strikes level 20 talent. Well... Well, he's a support, so without actually being able to get in and see what those heals would look like, and they are currently broken, it's hard to tell what his impact will be. It's clear that he has a space in a control-y, maybe even off support, but we'll have to see his numbers again. Are his numbers amazing? He can solo then and do great damage, and then he kind of enters that let's early pick him sort of Lucio Rhaegar on rework release kind of territory. So it'll be very interesting to see where he ends up.
Choose a talent.
If I want to do like full, just like not gonna look at anybody, I'm healing, I'm not gonna hit, I'm not gonna go for any offensive talents, what would I do? Weighted Pustule, attack, these are all pretty offensive. So I'll do Spine Launcher because it'll keep me nice and safe because I want to heal people. I like the one good spread, you know, I'm gonna be healing all over a bunch of different individuals.
Choose a talent.
Weighted Pustule, it hungers, range. I guess I might do something like this just so I can actually use my ability and stay safe with such great range. Go in for a couple auto attacks when I get comfy, but otherwise really focus on staying safe. Into, let's do the easiest one, which is going to be Flailing Swipe, so I can just hit people around who get too close, knock them back. Reactive, low blow. Roots, damage. And reset the cooldown of Bioswitch. That's probably the healiest thing there is. And then I do like Universal Carrier. That's just easy. But I do need to get the ball rolling, and it has to bounce in between me. So it has its own little rules on it. And then here, I guess because I went with a reactive Ballista Spore, I'm having more Bio Explosion switch. Bio Kill switch is activated over the course of the game. So I can detonate a silence area. Maybe I'm completely undervaluing this because the mana cost change. But it seems like that might be where a full healing build might take you. We'll have to see once it gets fixed up and on release where he actually ends up.